Welcome to Stogie Geeks News for June 12th, 2015. I'm Paul Asadorian, live here in G Unit Studios in Rhode Island, joined by Will Cooper on the lines via Skype from North Carolina. Welcome, Will.
Hey, good afternoon, Paul.
Hey, so we've got some great cigars and news to talk about, so let's get right into it.
Yes. So, kicking things off, La Palina Cigars is bringing back its original line, the Family Series. But there's going to be a couple of changes with this. The Family Series was the first line that La Palina released back in 2010. It was made out of the Bahamas by Greycliff. They are moving the production of that cigar to El Titan de Bronce in Miami. It's being rebranded the La Palina Family Series Miami. There'll be three sizes: a Pasha, 7x50, a Babe, a 5.25x50, and the Allison, a 6x52. They're all members of the Paley family, those Vitola names are. The key thing is they're also going to now have one blend. There used to be multiple blends in the Family Series. They're all going to have they're going to have one blend: Ecuadorian Corojo wrapper, Ecuadorian Habano binder, and Nicaraguan filler. And probably the best thing is they're going to bring the price point of these down a bit.
I was going to say the price on these was always kind of difficult for me. I think they're good cigars, don't get me wrong. But I thought that when I saw the move from the factory in the Bahamas to Miami, I had to start thinking they got to have a price decrease in that move. And that was probably part of the decision.
Yeah. And the thing is that they there was 100% duty on importing tobacco into the Bahamas, and that's what was
killing them.
Yeah. Now they won't be cheap still, because making cigars at El Titan de Bronce is not going to be inexpensive. But I think they haven't announced the pricing, but I think they'll be a little more reasonable, but probably still more of a cigar that you probably see in the $12 to $15 range.
Excellent. What else, Will?
So, Casada Cigars has announced one of my personal annual favorites. They announced that the Oktoberfest 2015 edition is going to be hitting the shelves in time for the Oktoberfest season. It's expected to make its debut at the IPCPR. So this is a cigar that they blended to go with malt liqueur. And this is the fifth year they're doing it. Now, it's a Dominican Puro that they've done primarily every year. But this year they're adding two Nicaraguan Puro cigars made in Nicaragua. They're adding a size called the Double Bach, and they're adding another one called Das Brohaus. The Double Bach is a Churchill-sized cigar measuring 7x47, and the Das Brohaus is a 4.5x60 Figurado. So again, these are limited edition, these two new sizes. They're Nicaraguan as opposed to Dominican. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am too. I think it's going to give them certainly a very different flavor profile, and I'm very curious to see what that does to this cigar. I'm also curious on that Perfecto size. It kind of reminds me of a flying pig or feral pig kind of size, which is always an interesting smoking experience.
Yeah, when I saw that, I just wondered if Jonathan Drew was going to make a call to the Dominican Republic on that.
I thought so too. Yeah.
Yeah, but I love the other thing is they haven't that Das Brohaus comes in a beer hut type of box. So it's like a house. It looks like.
Nice.
Yep. And what I love too, they put the 2015 edition secondary bands on there. You can easily tell.
I like that. Yeah.
Yep, what that's about, so I really like that.
Now, the 2015 edition is actually on sale next door at the Havana Cigar Club. For whatever reason, they're not big sellers here in that particular shop.
Yeah, and actually the funny thing about Oktoberfest is I go to some shops and they fly off the shelves. In the Charlotte area, they've sold very well. I remember I went down to Atlanta and ended up buying a whole bunch of cigars for people up in Charlotte. So I think it's just a hit or miss cigar. Charlotte has an interesting brewery kind of following here. I'm not saying that Rhode Island doesn't, but maybe it's just more of a cigar-based one here.
Yeah, I think the clientele next door, I think there are some beer geeks certainly in that crowd, but maybe not enough to have the overlap that really like the Oktoberfest blend. I find that's a blend that you like it or you don't kind of thing. It's very polarizing. I like it. I think it's really good. I especially like the Curz size, the short Robusto. I've always been pretty fond of that one, over the years. So it's interesting to see you adding some Nicaraguan tobacco. I think will be a welcome change.
Yeah, and then the original six are still going to have the Dominican blend. And what's cool about that is they use a different vintage tobacco every year. So I've noticed some of them are very different from year to year of those other sizes.
Excellent. What else you got?
So sticking to the theory of beer and cigars, Perdomo Cigars has recently released a line called the Special Craft Series, and this is another line of cigars that's meant to meant to pair with beers. But what they've done is they came out with three blends, which typically Perdomo will do. They came out with their Connecticut, their Sun Grown, and their Maduro. And the Connecticut line is called the Special Craft Pilsner, and that is a cigar that's really meant to be paired with lighter beers, cream ales, golden lagers, white ales, pilsners.
And I tell you what, Will, when CAO sent us those pairings, I paired their Connecticut with a lighter beer, as you described, and it was very, very good. And I would have never thought to pair a Connecticut shade cigar with beer. But I tell you what, from experience, it tends to turn out really, really well. So I definitely want to try this one.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely interesting. And then they have two others. They have the Sun Grown is called the Special Craft Amber, and that's meant to be paired with obviously ambers, IPAs, and more like Oktoberfest and traditional lagers. And then their Maduro is called the Special Craft Stout, which has a Nicaraguan Maduro wrapper, and that is going to be geared at your darker beers, the brown ales, the Dunkels, the Imperial Stouts. So I think it's a really cool concept. There's some really nice packaging with the beer things on it, and I think it fits in with the Perdomo model. And I think they've kind of, these beer pairings are not new, as we just talked about Oktoberfest, but they're kind of taking on this and now expanding on it quite a bit.
Yeah, that's great. I can't wait to try those pairings.
Me neither.
What's next?
That's all we have this week, guys. We're actually
Excellent.
heading. Yeah, so I think there's a lot. Check out Cigar Coop for a lot more news, but we wanted to hit some of the highlights for this week.
Excellent. Thanks, Will.
Thank you.